Hey everyone, Nathan here, and welcome to an unboxing of Scythe the Wind Gambit. Now this is not a traditional unboxing in that this is the first time I've opened this box. I actually took a look at the rules, and poked around with the minis just to see what was inside when I bought it. But I thought if you were interested in what the Wind Gambit had to offer, wanted to see what was in the box, I thought I would open it up and let you see it. So Scythe is a game that I have loved. It's probably my favorite game of the last couple years, and one that I've definitely spent the most time with, the most plays. And as soon as I saw that this was coming, I knew I had to get my hands on it as soon as possible. So let's do that. Let's open her up and see what you get with Scythe the Wind Gambit. So first to note, as I've done before, but the artwork is just stunning. Jacob Brzezowski and the team over at Stonemaier have just done an awesome job with the world building and what it has to offer in terms of allowing the imagination to run wild once you set your eyes on the box and that kind of thing, just with what these machines could do and how intimidating they are. I just think it's super cool. Oh, there's some more on the side. You always get a lot of it. I even like this. The spine has some cool different colored artwork even, which is cool. So kudos to them for that. So you've got rules to incorporate the Wind Gambit into the Automa solo variant. You got some extra achievements, so I thought that was kind of fun. An achievement sheet came with the original Scythe. Here's the rules and a little bit of backstory of where man came up with the idea of these giant airships. Now I will say you get two modules in the Wind Gambit. You get these, which are just new victory conditions, and then of course you get the airships and all the doodads that come with them. These victory conditions are pretty interesting, actually. Typically when someone gets a 6th star on the triumph track, the game just ends and you count up your money. But this will add something a little bit different to each game. I think you just draw one. Like I said, I've just poked through the rules once, but I'll just read one. This is interesting. King of the Hill: the first time each player controls the factory at the beginning of their turn, they may place a star on this resolution tile. So you put these resolution tiles, these victory conditions, near the triumph track. After a player places their 6th star and completes their turn, no more stars may be placed on this resolution. Play continues until each player who has a star on this resolution tile takes a final turn, then the game ends. So just interesting ways to change up the game. Pretty cool. And then you've got what drew me to this expansion, the most exciting thing about it, which are the airships. So each game, I believe you're going to draw one of each of these tiles. You've got like a passive, or more of a agricultural power for your airship, a civilization building power for your airship, and then you've got a aggressive power. And whoops, you've got kind of a passive world building, civilization building type power for your airship, and you'll get an aggressive power as well, which will help you in combat or to deter people from combat. They look a lot like the objective cards from the main game. They'll give you the power, like this is for drill. Your airship's territory has a tunnel that only your workers may move through. Cool stuff like that. And then an example of the aggressive one, a war correspondent. After combat on your ship's territory, between any players gain $1 per worker on your airship, plus $1. So cool stuff like that. I believe you pick one of each of these powers, and then every airship for every faction has that particular power. There are other variants in the rules as well that allow you to each take a power or something like that. I think you can do a lot of different things with it. Here's some rule cheat sheets. These might be part of the Automa thing too. And here are the minis. And these things are just massive. They're pretty... They take up a lot of footprint on the table. But here they are. We'll crack that open and take a look at one. I will note that I was a little disappointed that they were all the same. You'll see here's the yellow player's airship, here's the blue player's, and they're identical. I was excited when I realized that Scythe had paid as much attention to detail as to like do stuff like change the workers. Faction by faction, they actually look a little bit different. But these are all the same, but they're still really cool. It's not a big deal, but just one little nitpick. But here they are. And you've got, oh, I bumped again. you've got these stands, and so they hover above the territory, and I don't think you actually can use them in combat, if I remember right. Could be wrong there. Don't correct me. Don't yell at me. But they actually don't initiate combat. I do remember that because they kind of hover above the landscape and the territory, and they can transport. You'll notice here there's actually enough space on these to put workers and resources, so they can transport your workers and resources without initiating combat or without having to pass through enemy territory, which you can't do with a worker. But yeah, just really excited to play. I wanted to give you an idea of what you got inside the box. This is the first expansion I've bought for Scythe. There's one called Invaders from Afar, which adds the blue. I know what colors are. Green and purple players, and I don't have that yet, but I want it for sure. I'm not sure I'll ever get the opportunity to play with 7 people. It would be great, but my game group it's not that big. But I wanted to get this because these minis just look so neat, and what a neat idea to do that. And also this week was just announced the Rise of Fenris, a final expansion for Scythe, which will add a campaign mode and I think a few other modules that you can pick and choose what you use with this expansion. The other ones, you actually get to see the actual size on the bottom there, which is cool. Some extra bags come too. Those have been very helpful. I actually used them for another game when I got the main game of Scythe. But there you go. There you have it. There is Scythe the Wind Gambit. I hope you enjoyed this quick look at what you get inside, and we'll see you next time.